Hello, thank you so much for subscribing our Sashi.co channel. This is my second story, and I will talk about the Boro and Sashiko today. The word of Boro became so famous among those who enjoyed Japanese vintage fabrics in the last few years. Some art dealers found the beauty of Sashiko and it is getting the name values on them. The authentic Japanese Boro, especially the large pieces, acquired many recognitions and frequently got good pricing. At the same time, hand stitchers like us enjoy the beauty of Sashiko and Boro as the creators, makers. One of the most frequent questions I get in the Sashiko workshop I offer is today's topic. What is the Boro? What is the Sashiko? And what is the difference? It is a bit of challenging to clearly define what Sashiko and the Boro are because they were for the ordinary Japanese people and they didn't leave many documents. It was too ordinary to make it official. Therefore, not many valid documents are found to make the universal definition. I have tried to explain the meaning, understanding, and stories regarding Sashiko and Boro on my website as the blog post. Please check them when you have time. It is upcyclestitches.com. upcyclestitches.com. Here on this YouTube, let me share my basic understanding of Sashiko and the Boro. Again, since there are no official documents found regarding the definition of these terms, it is merely my understanding of the words based on my experience, our experience in Sashiko. So my understanding is, Sashiko is a form of stitching, a process of needlework. The Boro is the result of continuous ultimate repetition of Sashiko stitching. In other words, Sashiko can be a verb in Japanese language. We occasionally say that we do Sashiko. In contrast, Boro doesn't become a verb in the Japanese language. We do not say that we do Boro. Boro in Japanese originally means merely the piece of torn and dirty fabric. Does it make sense? It is more like a terminology explanation and I'm reading my script, so I hope it makes sense. Please leave the comments if you do not get any of those. I will try to explain that. Let me share some of the stories about Boro to give you more better understanding. As you may have learned already, Sashiko and Boros are developed in the poverty, a poor community or communities in Japan. Here's the story. One farmer wears a jacket every day. When it gets a hole or tear, his wife mends the jacket with hand stitching, so-called, you know the word, Sashiko. They did not have a choice. They had to repair it with the fabric they kept from the past because they didn't have enough money or asset to purchase the new fabric. The man's wife kept repeating the mending throughout his entire life, their life. And when their son is old enough to take over the man's job, the jacket was passed down to the next generation. So the result of this repetition of stitching and mending and wearing outside became a Boro jacket, in which you may be able to enjoy that in a museum or in a gallery. It was, therefore, purely for the practical purposes, for retaining the warmth, protecting the skin from the sunshine or scratch from farming works, and pretty much for surviving. Because of this purpose-oriented beauty, some people call Boro as the random beauty. It could be true, it could be true. It is not the same as the patchwork or decorative stitching embroideries. in which the artist or creators or stitchers or makers can choose the materials from a variety of choices. I respect those who implement the concept of Japanese Sashiko and Boro and make the patchworks looks like Boro. I also respect those who mend their denims or jacket with the hint of Boro's design. You may wonder though if I call them Boro or even authentic Boro. Well, with the sincere respect, I would call them either Boro inspired art or Boro inspired mending. Please do not get me wrong though. I respect them as much as I respect to the Boro from the past. But there's a bit of difference. It is not right or wrong, it is not a better or worse. They're just a bit different. So let me talk about the randomness of Boro. Is it really random? Do you think it's really, really random? I do not believe so, to be honest. Here's some of the photos I have. The Boro, we kind of recreated this Boro, but do you think it is really, really the at random? I do not believe so. It is true that they didn't have enough materials to be artistic as they wanted to be. They didn't have enough materials to choose from at all. However, I feel that they had a pride or probably basic human desire to make things more beautiful. The Boro pieces I admire have their emotions, including joy, anger, sadness, and happiness from their ordinary days. I can kind of sense that, feel that. Because of these emotions behind the Boro, they look so beautiful and artistic, I believe. It is our human nature to be fashionable and pursue the beauty even when we are in the severe condition, like not be able to get the new fabric. So I think, I believe, I guess, the Boro is a result of the Japanese like that. We, Sashi.co and Keiko, my mom and her friends, and also my project Upcycle Stitches, try to follow the root of this Boro tradition. Interestingly, it is kind of difficult. It became difficult to to find a vintage fabric from the same era. So it is very similar to the Japanese in the past who couldn't get enough fabric. They couldn't get enough fabric because of the economy situation or like poverty. We cannot get it because it's just 200 years ago. Like we have to get the very old fabric. When we collect enough Boro to be fabric, very fragile, nice vintage fabric, we try to be as creative as possible. We also try to synchronize our feeling to the Japanese who probably did Sashiko as we do now. Most importantly, we try to think of others when we make the Boro. The Boro has a story, and even when we make a piece of Boro, we add the stories to the fabric. The process of stitching with adding the stories, so-called emotions like our feeling, to the fabric is called Sashiko, and the result of someone, including ourselves, is called Boro. Again, the purpose of stitching with carrying somebody is called Sashiko, and the result of that carrying stitching is Boro. I hope my understanding of Boro and Sashiko help you to understand your definition of Sashiko and Boro. This is a very big topic to cover. I will come back with other stories to share. Let me share one of the videos here. Uh, so when I decided to restart, oops, when I decided to restart my Sashiko project, not a project, Sashiko life, uh, no, I'm sorry. When I decided to continue my workshop in New York City, my mother decided to make me the Boro jacket like this. She thought that in order to explain what the Boro is, it is the best way to explain is to actually have it. It is very true. It really helps to explain what Boro is. So do you see that those torn or fragile fabric? We patchwork together and make this soft layers fabric, and then so-called stitches to make this fabric together is called Sashiko, and then whole pieces like this is called Boro. At the same time, though, it is not for the artistic purpose because of the choices. You know, if I were the artist, I might add the red fabric here or something like that, but they didn't have a red fabric in the same era. So we didn't have any choice. So we had to make it Boro, I mean the art, in the limitation of availability. Yet this became so beautiful. So I wouldn't call it 100% at random, and I explained that that's a human instinct. But it is kind of too difficult, too shallow to define what is Sashiko and what is Boro in one stories. So I will again come back to this topic and we'll share more stories. All right, thank you so much for watching the second story. I am happy to come back with the other topics. There are a lot of topics I should cover, but if you have any request of the topics that I can cover, please let me know. Please leave the comments or subscribe this channel, and I will be back. Thank you so much and have a good weekend.